Hello YouTube. This is a little video about my 3 CZ clones, or in this case, clone of a clone. I have here a compact Tangfolio. This is a Sar USA K2-45, obviously chambered in 45 ACP, double stack. It's a 14+1. And then over here is the kid sister. This is the Sar 2000 chambered in 9mm. This is a 17+1. The Tangfolio on this side over here, this one's a an IFG TF Defiant C9. So that basically denotes that it's IFG, Italian Firearms Group, is the importer, TF for Tangfolio, the manufacturer, Defiant, which is the model. There's also a full-sized of this one, and then C9 denotes the compact 9mm. So this is a 13+1. Basically, these are clones of the CZ75, and obviously I think it's, I forget what the 45 version is, but these guys are a clone of this one. After handling this is the one that I purchased used, and it's a little rough around the edges, but initially I purchased the Sar K2-45 here because I was, in lieu of purchasing a Smith & Wesson 4506. Basically, that model of pistol has an inherent collector value added to it. So, it can hover anywhere from, if you're really lucky, the 600s all the way up to $1,200. And it has a couple of things going against it. One, it's a very expensive pistol. It's discontinued. Secondly, the magazines are few and far. They're pretty uncommon for factory magazines, and when you can find them, because they're on Gunbroker here and there, it's usually in quantities of 1 or 2, and they hover around 75 to 125 a piece. Sometimes you can get lucky and get cheaper ones, but for the most part, it's pretty damn expensive. And then lastly, its capacity. It's basically a glorified 1911 in the sense that it's 8+1. And all of those things kind of, for me, prevent me from buying one. I almost had one in my grasp, but the seller ended up, I guess, selling it to somebody else. So anyway, I wanted a stainless 45, and this one happened to be on a forum, and for a price that I really couldn't beat. So I took a chance on it, and then after I purchased this guy and kind of dinked around with it, I started looking up the other offerings from Sar USA, and I found the 9mm here, and I saved, and then I purchased this one. This one's, phenomenal. I took it out shooting, and I'll insert a couple of videos of this guy and this guy firing. Accuracy from both of these is fantastic. What's interesting about the K2-45 here is I was shooting very left, and so you'll notice my sights now are shifted all the way to the left. I haven't taken it out since, but I'm not sure what's causing that. I mean, the pistol itself is beautifully made. There's not a whole lot of manufacturing defects that I can find. Something's going on either with the lockup or the barrel. It could be a recoil rod assembly, spring pressure issue. I'm unsure, but I'm going to take this guy out again, and I'll probably add a little laser out there and see if I can crank that way to the right and see if I can dial in my stuff. Otherwise, I'm going to try and buy the barrel. Sar USA has very affordable replacement barrels as well as threaded barrel options for their offerings of pistols. Comparing these two companies, this one's a little bit rough around the edges. Again, I bought it used, so it's going to have I guess this side doesn't really have it. You notice I'm covering the seal number, but some little odds and ends here that aren't as great. And then its magazine is just a little sticky, and then that could also be from the grip itself kind of rubbing on it. I haven't done a full takedown with this guy yet. I've just taken the slide assembly apart and then and looked at the frame, but internally it's just a little bit rougher than the other ones. Overall though, this one shot beautifully. What this basically fulfills for me is now I have 3 different variants of the CZ75 style of pistols, but also this prevents me from now going out and buying a compact Beretta 92. For its price point, I would probably opt to get the Beretta 96 so I could have one in 40 caliber. But with this guy kind of rounds out that desire I had for the 92 compact. But back to the 45 here, I have the Tillander, or it's Tillander. I'm not quite sure how he emphasizes his name, but the guy I purchased from bought these as spare grips. So my factory ones are still new and they're in the bag, but they have a nasty habit of cracking. And you notice I swapped it out with 3mm screws here that I got at the hardware store, and then I utilized little rubber O-rings. Part of the problem is if these are too long, they're obviously going to rub on the magazine. So you may have to file them down if you replace it. Otherwise, Sar USA, what's shitty is they know it's an issue. These should be aluminum. With how they crank down, you're never going to break this fucker over here on the Sar 2000. But with these, they're these little itty bitty fasteners for the grips, and they're in 3mm, and they have this wider head. But one of the issues is that the slot, see, this is a Phillips, but the slot that they have in the flathead of theirs is deep enough to where if you crank down, either A, you're going to end up cracking the grip, or B, what happened to me is I actually split one of mine, and it's enough of an issue to where they have the grips as well as fasteners or grip screws for replacement parts on their website, which is a little shitty. I reached out to him and said, hey man, you know, can you send me one? Because I ended up splitting it. And he's like, oh no, we got these on online for you to buy. So, but it was pretty cool, the fact that they got back to me within about, no, maybe 24, 36 hours. So that's pretty good. I haven't had any real issues with them. I purchased from their website before when getting magazines for this guy, and both shipped out really fast. So I don't have a tremendous amount of complaints, other than the fact that they're kind of selling an item that they know has inherent issues. But the Tillander or Tillander style of replacement grips that I have now are there, plus the grips themselves on their website are like $20. So if you wanted to get replacement grips, you could, as well as the screws, but their shipping is just ridiculous. So speaking of the grips, the Sar 2000 has these wider palm swells to it, and I tell you, I'm not a huge fan of rubber grips because just everything under the sun sticks to them, but very comfortable. And I know comfortable in the hand is quite often overused, but genuinely feels very comfortable. Other than that, these are heavy enough to where I don't know if I would ever carry them. I'm 99.9% sure. I'm just using them out at the range. This guy's heavy, but he weighs about as much as my my Rock Island officer's model of 1911. So, but now I have 13+1, so I'll probably end up carrying this guy a little bit more. This guy is more for competition if it wouldn't shoe so fucking far to the left. Like I say, I'll troubleshoot it. We'll see if it's a barrel issue. Basically, what they told me today was to check the inside and outside barrel for dings or dents, which there is no issues with my barrel. I've taken this guy down a few times. Basically, I think that the rifling might be off. I was using, I believe, 230 grain, and I can't recall if I got video of it or not, but definitely far off. Whereas these two, I mean, I'm basically spot on, fist-sized target, you know, about, 15, 20 yards. And, you know, that's what I was expecting out of this guy. At 5 yards, this was dead on. But as you start to back it up, when I was at about 12, 15, 20 yards with him, just all veering very far to the left. And I would have to almost hold over, maybe 6 or 8 inches, and then I could land dead center. You know, so I know the sight, the rear sight here, even though it's an adjustable target sight, is slightly off, but I don't think it would cause that much deviation. So now I've adjusted it to the furthest setting, and I'm going to take this one back out and probably run about 3 or 5 different types of 45 ACP through it and see if I get a little bit better accuracy out of it. Otherwise, I may opt to buy one of those barrels. I believe the threaded barrel for one of these is like 150 or something like that. And I don't know if I can say that anymore on YouTube, because they tend to strike your channel or whatever if you give price points. So I'm unsure. Maybe they don't have them. I don't know. But either way, all of these are very affordable options. I really want to love this guy. I don't really understand why they have a rail out there, because this is too heavy to actually carry. I mean, it definitely puts a 1911 to shame with the 14+1 when it's loaded to full capacity. So it would be at best for competition, but with its accuracy issues that I'm having right now, I don't know quite what I would use it for. Maybe home defense, but again, not at this point, with my shots being 6 to 8 inches over. I sort of wish that the frame here replicated the smooth frame here, because it would be a lot sleeker, and I really don't think I would ever utilize this unless I slap a laser on there to again see where my accuracy's at. But other than that, Star USA has replacement sights, replacement grips. I can attest to what parts interchange between these and the Tangfolios as well as the CZ75s. I've read some stuff online, but I don't know if anything really fits mag or part-wise. With the Tangfolios, there does seem to be some stuff that swaps back and forth, but there wasn't a tremendous amount of information on this guy. Patriot Defense is one company that sells a ton of stuff for the Tangfolio line of pistols, both the full-sized and then the small frame that I have here. That's a whole other learning curve that I had, is that Tangfolios and the CZ75s have large frames, small frames. Some things are proprietary in terms of grips and magazines, and then internal parts, some go with others, some don't. But again, learning curve. And then there's IFG also sells parts. They actually got back to me when I was asking about magazines, because the ones they currently have on their website have a little bit of a different design. So this one has kind of like the Beretta 92 style indentation there, whereas the newer ones have this big old square. And again, I can't quote the prices, but you can definitely check out IFG and see what their prices are. Supposedly CZ75 compact magazines work with this, but again, the base plates differ. So I do know that there's like the Desert Baby Eagle, the Springfield P9, and I want to say 2 or 3 others have the same geometry where the magazines are supposedly interchangeable. So that's kind of cool. But all in all, very happy with this. Basically, these 3 round out my my little CZ collection, and then what I'll be working on next is just trying to accurize this guy and try and get it to a level to where I can finally start shooting, you know, point of aim, point of impact, you know, because I was expecting the same level of accuracy out of this as I was my my 1911. So it was kind of a disappointment today when I took it out a little bit further. Again, inside of 5 yards, dead on, but it really tends to shift. And as I've looked at the barrel and stuff, I mean, nothing really wobbles too much. Let me take the tape off here. Again, these are just for serial numbers. I mean, you never know. I don't know why I did that. But with this one, you know, not a ton of play. It doesn't seem too crazy, you know, back and forth because it's just resting on this. But again, slides very, very tight. So not really seeing a whole lot on there that would be a cause for concern. Again, very tight when it's in its static position here. So again, I'm not quite sure what's going on with this guy. These safety-wise, none of these have decockers. They're just straight up and down safeties. So that's just food for thought for anybody that might consider, you know, these, you know, being a decocker model. I guess some of the CZs have that, but these don't. Same thing with the IFG Defiant here is this one, same thing, just straight up and down. Nothing goes further than that stopping point there. But again, out of these 3, I mean, these 2 are just dead nuts accurate. And again, I'll insert a video of me shooting with 3 different types of 9mm weights for these guys, and then I'll try and see if I have anything shooting wise for this. I think I might have taken a picture, and it's just a little bit ridiculous in terms of how far over it really was. But I'm not sure if I still have that or not. I do have the videos for these. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, basically, I'm going to shoot the piss out of this one since it's under warranty for the next year. This one was used, so I'm still going to shoot this one, but I have no doubt because of the part supply that I found for this one that I'm going to have any issues. And then with this guy, my journey is just to get it dead center and figure out what in the hell is going on. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I very rarely visit my channel or the comments, but if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. As for people who mention rambling and other bullshit like that, you know, as much as you might want to think the whole world works like Reddit, and you want me to custom tailor a video to you to where I don't ramble and I have, you know, bullet points and I have all this other bullshit, until you start paying me or giving me free shit, you can honestly keep your fucking opinion to yourself. All right, thanks for watching. Bye. 124 grain. All headshots. Again, 124 grain. All headshots. 147 grain, and I'm going for heart shots. So upper, just if you're looking at my ankle, upper left-hand side, trying to shoot for there. All right, again, 147 grain, right side target, all heart shots.